Okay, so in my notes video that I made last year, I didn't cover when a worksheet will say leave answers in simplest radical form, or when something asks for the exact answer. This is actually something that has tripped up a lot of my students when they're taking state tests. Is the state test will ask for something in the exact answer, and students think that means put it in a really nice decimal. But remember that square roots, if they're not a perfect square, like 27 is not a perfect square, then it's an irrational number. And that means a decimal would have to go on forever in order to represent it accurately. So unless you want to spend the rest of your life writing a number as an answer to a math problem, then you can't write the exact answer on these if you're writing them as a decimal. So that's when we simplify the radical, which we reviewed how to do yesterday. So if you have a problem like 1, where 2,500 is a perfect square, it's 50 squared, then you just leave that as your answer. 50 is the answer, done deal. Now let's say you have one like number 7, and x squared equals 87. 87 is not a perfect square, so we're going to go ahead and take the square root, try to simplify it. So 87, 2 doesn't go in, 3 does go in. Let's go see how many times 3 goes into 87. 87 divided by 3 equals 29. Now, 3 is prime, 29 is also prime. Since both of these are prime numbers, this number cannot be simplified. So what you'll write for your answer for x is just the square root of 87, and that is the simplest radical form. That one was pretty easy. Now, on this one, we have x squared equals 72. When you take the square root of 72, 72 is not a perfect square. Let's actually go over here and attempt to take the square root of it. Square root of 72, I get 8.485. Remember that that decimal technically goes on forever. Even if you wrote every single digit over there, it would still not be the exact answer. So we're going to write it simplified. And let's go ahead and make our factor tree. I know that 72 is 8 times 9, but maybe all you know is that 2 goes in. So you could go over to your calculator and put 72 divided by 2 and see what it comes up with. It's 36. So this is going to be 6 and 36. And then 36 is 6 times 6. Now you could keep going until you have primes, but I already know that 2 is prime. And then my other numbers are a match. So I know that they're going to be outside my square root. So I'm going to rewrite this as 2 times 6 times 6. I have a pair of numbers, so one number goes out to represent, and my x will be 6 times the square root of 2. And remember, you can always check your answer by putting it into your calculator and seeing what it gives you. We had the square root of 72 was what we wanted. Let's see if we get the same number. I get the same number, so I did it correctly. So this is how you write your answer in simplest radical form, or how you get the exact answer when it is not a perfect square on a Pythagorean theorem problem.